Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Sure.
Let us pray. Father God, thank you for letting us safely gather here this morning. Keep your arms of protection and care over those citizens in our county that need it today. Let us make wise decisions regarding the resources that you've provided to us. Let us do everything in your name. In your name I give thanks. And amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So 3% would be 946,000.
900. There you go.
We did that.
Is that what the stabilization was? Yeah. So we did find the highlighting on this.
No. If it was.
So you can tell.
What color you want to do?
Send it purple. A blue. A blue.
Yeah. It always wants to be like,
She can adjust it on the thing.
We need to.
Get it down first.
yeah, if we need to do.
It looks like they're pushing to go to 7% across the board.
The last conversation I had, reading and also speaking with, downstairs and whatnot, they're back on the 7%, leaning towards. The skinny budget that was pushed forward is still at the 5%, but there's still 3 on the table, which is 5, 6, and 7. And with those 3, there's like variations of like what, comp board would get with regards to different trainings and step and longevity, and so it's still all intertwined.
Uh-oh.
Seems. Split off.
Oh, where are they going?
If you got ones going to 5%, but they want to do 7% deputies and 5% for everybody else.
Oh.
The other group's going with the 7% across the board, so it's all gonna come down to the numbers. How many goes where out of the middle group?
If I might, yes. And then I have some thoughts to share with you all. On the quorum, so we've done the pledge, Mr. Turner. So, Ms. Bechtel,
Here.
Ms. Cookiebook,
Present.
Mr. Cox,
Present.
Mr. Booth,
President.
and Mr. Turner. Thank you. Let's see, and if I might, so just to several of the questions that you all asked us Tuesday were related to that we couldn't. Kim and I couldn't answer quickly. Were related to either the landfill or some issues around solid waste. So we asked Mark and Cheryl to come and answer some of those questions for you. And of course, if you have other questions, that would be great. I think we're just waiting on Cheryl to get here because we had said around 9 o'clock. I think he'll get here a little before then. But anyway, that's what that is. And then we have a closed session related to some real estate and some other matters. I was looking for what the appropriate number would be for the other matters. So when I come up with that.
You want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah,
See
then
what the other
if that
ones-
works, so we hear from Mark and Cheryl and then go to closed and then come back and start walking through other things.
May I?
Sorry, we're having music interlude.
I like that. It's a little zen.
Yeah, right.
May I? Joe,
Mr.
may I?
Yeah.
So a couple of things, and I kind of spoke, already, a couple of the questions that came up, which one was up through the treasurer, on the data line, that was Virginia Employment Commission, copiers, and another, maintenance with regards to that, so, that line and verification through AP, that's exactly what that is. The other, question I think Ms. Beck put out was a suggestion of looking into if the sheriff and deputies transport mental health clients could that be, and I'm sorry if I don't say it verbatim, is that a billable service in some form or fashion, and it is not. Under any jurisdiction that I researched, and I did make a couple phone calls, bottom line, to sum it up, it falls under their job duty to transport. So that's the best way that I could kind of sum it up without getting convoluted. So it would be going back, we had a small conversation, it would be going back if the intent is that the sheriff who's transporting feels the need to utilize EMS, whether it's paid or volunteer, that would be the only way, because of it's a concern medically to transport him, that it would be billable. So.
Something, I have a new request.
Okay.
On the outside agency Form 1As,
Uh-huh.
would it be possible to get for the previous fiscal year, so currently it would be fiscal year 2023, instead of client estimates, would they be able to provide actual client counts for the previous fiscal year, for any of them, the outside agencies? So instead of just getting guesstimates or so we actually know how much of our population they serve in the previous year.
Mhm.
And then, of course, for the next fiscal year, it would be an estimate. Actually,
I believe that several of them have that information, like I know the agency
Right.
on
Some
aging
of them-
folks, some of them do, but
Yeah.
not all of them, so that
Correct.
would level the playing field.
Yes. Thank you. I know that would be for next budget round.
Right.
Linda,
Mhm.
it would fall under discussion concerning no, not that one. Sorry.
I know.
Yeah,
Just
of
random.
perspective or industry or expansion of existing business or industry where no previous announcement.
Well, I guess as long as,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, as long as it's not 10 o'clock.
Huh?
Yes, it is, it's an answer. Yeah.
No, for the closed.
Oh,
Oh,
But we'll do that.
different programs that you make that one person in two programs.
oh, okay, okay, gotcha, okay.
I think what you're getting at is try and find out unduplicated numbers.
Okay.
And it'd be good to know, if you, without identifying them, you got one that's in 5 different programs or 2 or whatever, but unduplicated numbers.
When you look at these numbers from the outside agencies, you think the entire population is utilizing some of these
Or at least
services.
Yeah.
Which one are we thinking we could?
5?
Yeah.
Some kind of drug rehabilitation.
And food service.
Yeah,
And
trying to get down the actual number.
if I might, Mr. Chairman, I think the other item we would discuss in closed session would be under A5, discussion concerning a prospective business or industry or the expansion of existing business. But we would just need to do that by about 9:30.
All right.
Yes,
They're here.
I got it. Thank you.
spring.
Drum roll.
So, Tuesday, Mark really wants that floor done, right?
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can break down.
Yeah.
We come in, try to pour it on top on it, that.
Tell Cheryl to be nice.
We're not used to that. How y'all doing this morning?
We didn't need to.
Morning. I got the blue memo.
We don't want you to fat some more, eh?
Leave your day.
All right. What do y'all want to talk about first?
You get to pick. You want to talk about landfill or green boxes or solid waste in general? I think all three were.
Floor, tipping floor,
Any good
whatever,
news?
wherever you want to start.
Yeah, hey, good news.
You did the pottery last night.
Well, good news,
He
we're
wouldn't
gonna
be
make
here.
two people mad.
These spots.
So the biggest thing right now is the bars. So, you know,
Yeah.
we've moved some boxes. Given time, hopefully the bars go away. We've been told it won't go away. They'll be right back. Trying to keep some boxes in places, but the bars still making a big mess and people are upset because they gotta throw the trash over the top instead of walking between the doors, but they leave the doors shut, you know. Anyway, it's an ongoing thing. Still, construction people are throwing stuff in the dumpsters and got a bunch of lumber in one truck the other day and it pushed the door out, so that's gotta get repaired.
Is there any
And
way for us to track that down?
only way you gonna,
Track it down is if you see them.
well, and then people's got to be willing to witness, Woodstock, he's talked to deputy and gonna go to court. See what happens that, but if we don't, if Floyd County don't take control of it, it ain't never gonna stop. I mean, we're spending, the county, in my opinion, is spending extra money running these trucks, on these sites, and, you know, instead of getting the boxes, emptying the boxes, then they gotta get out, pick up all the trash that people leave, and, you know, in the past, we had one man get hurt trying to load a couch or something by
Yeah.
himself, and that, you know, that's just the way life is.
That's
So-
where I wish we could see our way clear to get a code enforcement officer like Laverne was. Cause I mean, she cleaned this county out.
Yeah.
Thoroughly.
Yeah, she really helpful.
Yeah, she did.
And if we had somebody like that again, that all they had to do was go around and push these codes and green boxes and stuff. It would really make a difference.
It'd be nice, but, you know,
You know, we can keep hammering on it, maybe one day we can.
yeah. But I personally think if we could get, you know, 4 convenience centers, gated, manned, it costs up front, but I think in the long run, you save a lot of money. But anyway, so if people call you mad, I returned a call the other day, I said, sorry, but, you know, buyers, and he said, I pay my tax dollars, you're to build fences, you're to have gates, and this and that. I said, well, you got any land for us? And I'm gonna buy me a burn barrel. I said, okay. I'm fine with it. But anyway, so, DEQ, our buddies, we had an inspection here 2 weeks ago. Anyway, it went pretty good. They had a few little nitpick items, and nothing major. But we're still working with Billy Newcomb with,
Drapery.
thank you, Draper. And we're talking, and we're trying to figure out what to do with that orange water. But, I want to try to work with PSA, they got a camera that runs down sewer pipe. We'll try to get out there and find that old how you say that word? The
That old terracotta pipe.
terracotta pipe. Try to find it and snake it, see where it's going and make sure it's still going there and see, check the pond out and, but the pond, we wanna put some kind of concrete box in there, put a couple valves and maybe if we, split it, in case we need to reroute it, but also a place to sample the water before it gets down to the
Right.
creek. So that's gonna be an ongoing process. Let's see, we got 2 trucks now.
Garbage truck.
Yeah,
Yeah, they working on one of them out there now. They're fixing the tailgate where it tore up.
so we got 2 trucks running, got 2 in the shop, and still got one up in Northern Virginia on a recall. Which recall may get another truck, right?
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see what happens to that. So, we lost a man last week. He got upset, had to pick up all the bear crap, so, he left. And y'all had some questions. Anyway, Cheryl, the boys, he's got a good crew. They working hard. Can't make no complaints there. Some of them don't look as pretty as me, but.
Everybody can't be that way, can they?
Anyway, we got, Miss Jenny got our loads, tonnages. That's, been since, August of last year till February. And you'd be surprised how much crap comes out of Florida.
And
I stayed in boxes at Buffalo Mountain.
well, that's now.
The dog.
I say y'all help out a lot in the other counties close by.
We're generous that way.
Yeah. But, you want a copy of this for?
I think she was making them. Did she have
This
this?
is gonna make me.
It was just. Yeah, it was. I don't know. We lost her somewhere. She'll be right back.
You're right. Okay, you may have it.
Yeah, she might.
All right, what kind of questions you got for Cheryl, Lindy?
Transfer station floor.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine.
Concrete.
Yeah. The concrete. Something's gonna have to do. We know that. My question was, when are you gonna try to work that in with the schedule? Try to do that like over the weekend with the contractor or? What, a good while, I don't know, at least once or twice, we've been in and tried to do that at home. So it is gonna have to be replaced. I think we all know that. If you thought as far as scheduling all that.
Has somebody said something about it?
So if I might, so what was it? I guess it's been at least 2 years ago. There was an item that they put in the budget had to do with the leachate out there. And so we've pushed it off 2 years now.
Oh.
Yeah, does that
Okay.
ring a bell now? Yeah, so.
Before,
Oh, no, I thought you talking about replace the whole, putting on a slab of concrete down, which I think if they come back at it, I need to just tell them that they're crazy as a bat and leave us alone. But, I mean, there's, what, 18 inches of concrete there now. I think since I worked for the county, we put 2 toppings on it.
Right.
that's what he's saying.
Now, what I think is in the budget is, DEQ come at us a couple, 2
2 years ago, yeah.
year ago, that a little water was coming out on the ground. So we put down these big rubber bumpers, which we had to put them back down again and again and again. I finally told Cheryl and the boys, I just jerk them up, throw them away. Ain't no good. And we're going to try to get sometime work in there and get a trench cut in there with a grate system on it.
Like a French drain?
That will kick, yes.
Like a French drain.
But the last few times, the inspector ain't said a word about it, the one that started it, so I just kept my mouth
Yeah,
shut.
maybe.
Good.
He said if he ever sees DEQ ever sees cracks in it, next time the floor has to be took all the way down and start over.
Oh,
So it would be shut down probably in a month, you know?
And it'll be more than $50,000.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we have to
yeah,
jackhammer the whole thing up.
that's something we have to fight, need to fight tooth and nail.
It's interesting.
Every time we wash the floor down, keep out. See it.
Yeah.
They make all kinds of stuff. Or-
Yeah, we just, we gotta make sure next time we come, we got.
It was one of those.
Right.
But that, it'll legal it too.
No, I can carry through with that French drain, with me too.
That's a lot less than 50. Probably, although I don't know. There's trains lately. Would we be doing the work?
I'm sorry.
Would we be doing the work, the staff? Appreciate your. So, yeah, that, I think the French drain idea is an excellent idea.
Could the French drain be done on the outside of the concrete, dug into the dirt, instead of a trench in the concrete?
Yeah.
Everything has to be contained
Yep.
inside that imaginary line, beam to beam. I do remember that.
That way the water will go down and the floor to tanks can't.
6 feet
How big will we
wide.
Yeah, we thought about, 12, 16 inches so you can get a shovel in there to clean it
Oh, yeah,
out.
okay.
Because it'll have to be out from time to
Yeah.
time. Yes, yeah, well,
I say leave well enough alone. Not on the radar.
and how it would be.
Demand it.
But, you know, if it comes down to it, we may have to shut down for a week. Hopefully we can work part of it at a time, but, you know,
It'd be hard
yeah, it'd be tough.
with them big trucks trying to back in there and dump.
Yeah,
Talk
so
about our trucks.
we could go ahead and double the size of it and have a place to dump it. That way we could blow 2 trailers at a time in the
do you
future.
think you do it for that drain for, like 10,000 or something like that?
Depends on how hard the building inspector is on the contractor doing it.
Ricky was asking, you know, we got 50 there, we could take 40 out and leave 10 in there.
Yeah, to get that done.
It all depends.
Well, I need that other 40 for a new skid steer.
What'd you do to the one you have?
Needs a lot of work done on it. It's an overhaul.
We only had 6,000. Did anybody go to the Willow Springs auction? They were taking a bunch of skid steers.
Oh, yeah, the tree.
Tree Farm Place
No.
over on 114. I don't know when the auction. I think it already
It
happened.
happened. It was an
Or do it, whoever you found. Just go to a dealer that I used, maybe went over it.
But no,
If dealers, all dealers, accidentally have to do everything for it.
but, we got 2 trucks at, Vise and he's supposed to be working up maybe a cost of the 06 putting a whole new bed on it. We don't know what to do. Like I said, the new trucks are a year and a half out. They're just, the prices, you know, just way out there. But, yeah, we could probably do it for about $10,000-12,000. That French drain cut in, report and fix, I guess.
If I'm not sure, so does that, so we went back and found where this came from, and I think that it was Mr. Boo's point that that's been carried forward for several years, and it was just listed as $50,000 for transfer station floor repair. And it's been carried forward from, I guess, 2 years ago, so this would be the 3rd time So apparently there was something about 2.5 years ago, does that ring a bell, that there was a concern about the floor? Okay, Cheryl's saying yes.
Yeah, it's kinda always,
Could be.
we poured it twice. It's like every 5 years.
Yeah. Did that go back to when that truck burned up?
It's down below.
Yeah, but
Yes.
So on the sheet, obviously we've seen decreases from the pandemic. Everybody decided they had nothing else to do but clean out their houses, right? We have gone down. On the tire situation, 18.26, is that tons of tires?
Right.
Lord have mercy.
We're averaging 23 ton a month. We did 279 ton last
But we never had
Wow.
over 999 at any one time.
year.
How much, can I ask about how many, what's the difference between tires being brought into the transfer station and tires being pulled out of the green box dump? Is there a lot in the green boxes?
He probably averaging 10 a day in green boxes.
All our green boxes,
Huh?
all our green boxes.
Some days you might get 20 some, 30. Do what?
Yeah, all your green box
Oh, yeah.
sites. Sometimes they just pile up next to
Load
the.
in that contract over Floyd. You know, y'all pull out what you can, but occasionally if it's down underneath and you're pushing, you don't see it, it's gone. You know,
Yeah.
that's why you got that incidental to the load clause in that Floyd's Mountain agreement.
you know, I figured December would be a lot more hauled out. Cause I figured on about Christmas, everybody be unloading and stuff, but
Well, it's also you get new tires.
it stays all pretty well level.
To the tires, we pay the men to haul, right?
Right.
Now, if you're on the spot, would it be cheaper to buy a machine and cut the tires and take to the landfill, or to pay him to haul all that?
Well, the machine they used to pull around the ground, it stayed broke down all the time.
No,
So it's
yeah, I
it's
mean,
expensive.
if the county bought one for the personal use,
I don't know. You'd have to weigh it out. I'm feeling like do what we're doing to go to West Virginia. We was hauling on Pilot Mountain down there, and the last truck I sent down there, Thompson, he sat down there 5 hours. He said, I won't do that again.
This guy in Carroll County used to take tires and grind them up. Jimmy Dirt knowed him real well.
yeah, he went to North Carolina.
Yeah, he down south.
He
Can't get him to him.
That was where they went.
That's who he's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. He just moved down there.
Started out. Just a shredder and then he mocked him.
Doing real good down there in that burn up building.
But, okay, yeah, we'll just keep paying them in home in West Virginia, and they're recycling, putting them in asphalt and different things, so.
You can look at them, see what a shredder costs. Like I said, that one they pulled around though, it stayed broke down all the time. I don't know if they've upgraded them since then or not.
Well, I know that's what Carroll County does, they got a shredder right there, people just go up down in the field and throw the tires off there, and somebody takes a machine, throws them in there, and they just grind them up like sausage.
Then you'd have to buy a machine to cut the rims out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause you got away with wire.
But they recycle a lot of metals,
Yeah.
and the cardboard containers are working out good. A lot of people are breaking boxes down, and,
Still seeing a lot though in the green boxes too. It's just amazing.
yeah.
As a matter of fact, the green box right next to the cardboard container at the 615 one, across from the Commerce Park.
Right.
Tons of cardboard in the dumpster when the cardboard container is right next. Just baffles me.
Well, it's just like that row off Buffalo Mountain Road, sitting down there in plain view, it's already got some appliances and stuff in, and they'll just, instead of backing up and flipping it over, they back up that green box and muscle it up over.
Yeah, but the bad thing about that, it was a good idea, and it started working out good, then people started climbing in, throwing stuff out, and making a bigger mess than what it was worth. It's just,
That's why I got.
that's why it's got pulled.
What about moving it to another site? Like the 615 site? I mean, how much trouble do we have there? I usually see beds and chairs and stuff, but that's not really too bad a site though, is it?
I think it wasn't as bad as what was getting up there.
Yeah.
We down at Craighead's, Deer Run. It's bad down
I was telling y'all a while back, I got that call, and I tried to get up there and got
Yeah.
unquipped. Time I got there, he was pulling storm windows out, busting the glass out right beside the row off, keeping the aluminum.
I mean, people are people, and
Well, we got stays up there, I know. Lives where there's actually three groups comes in there. He's around them.
We got more problems with the bears or the people?
Yes.
Equal. I think it'd be easier to teach the bears.
I think you're right.
I
Big load of carpet down there in King's Store this morning.
Yeah.
would love to pull the boxes at the north end of 221 at Deer Run.
Yeah.
They got nowhere else put no more boxes.
Yeah, that place just has all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a few miles from our own county line.
You never know what you're gonna get there.
No,
Yeah, they killing us over at Simmons Grocery every Monday.
Well, I figured that would increase greatly when we pulled them others, but
Yeah, we took from 10 to 4.
Huh? Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right.
I brought up something the other day, you may get you guys to watch for it. They putting this underground cable in, especially on Burke's Fork now. That little purple tube, orange tube, and,
Yeah.
you know, you noticed up there at Paul's place down on the bank where they do it all.
I don't.
Yeah, if y'all's guys see a lot of that in a box, maybe let Brian them know, and they can go back to the company and have a little chat with
That
them.
one company that was doing it, they was renting a spot out here at Paul Thomas's,
Right.
renting green box down there to put it in, and this bunch doing it now is not. They just
Paul
put every green box they're at.
was letting them park their equipment and
Yeah.
and then when we got done, they left them a big pile of orange. Yes. I mean, it didn't leave it in a neat pile, and it's got it.
How much space would you need for 4 sites through the county? Like how much,
For a convenience center.
convenience centers, how much
Have you seen the one
of a lot?
Indian Valley?
Yeah, the
It's
one down
100
the
by
valley.
100. I think it'd work good, don't you?
it can be bigger.
Do you?
I'd say you need an acre.
An acre.
To get trucks turned around. and-
I mean, we've got a couple different designs thought of. If we go with compactors, we could probably get about half an acre, 3/4 of an acre. If we do the 30 or 40 yards, it'd be
40.
40. We do the 40 containers and the retaining wall. You need to get an acre,
A level acre.
a level acre.
I guess one other thing too is, there's not a lot of just 1 acre tracts currently out there. And the
True.
way our subdivision ordinance is, you gotta do at least 2 acres to
Correct.
chunk it off, so I don't guess there's an exemption for,
they're working on it. So
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
For county purposes.
The problem I was seeing with them, like over in Burke's Fork District,
Yes.
we got such a big area. People was already eating me up because we've took them all out of Shearer Road and Buffalo Mountain Road on that end and everything. all them people on that end, at the corner, you know, they work in Patrick, they work in Carroll, and they don't like driving all the way across. So what I'm afraid of is we're gonna end up with a bunch of illegal dumps. So we would about need at least two in Burks Fork District, Locust Grove, well, actually all but the courthouse,
Yeah.
maybe three in each one of them.
I think a good education campaign out there about how much money is actually spent on the issue. And the cost of what illegal dumping would be, and get an enforcement officer when we make that transition. But I just don't see this being a sustainable green box situation with trash in the creeks and everything else. I think we really need to.
You know, we can sell part about how much it's costing us now. People don't see that as much as what they would see when we start, you know, spending all that money at one time in each place.
The, yeah, I think we've done a good job making these things pretty convenient for folks in the county. We got, I don't remember how many sites it is, but it's a lot, so.
More than 30.
I'm not saying anything about y'all's age, but I got a question here.
Here we go.
Growing up down in Indian Valley, I remember, I just don't remember seeing a whole lot of dumpster sites. But I remember seeing a whole lot of trash over the banks. So have we done just a better job over the last 2 or 3 decades making more dumpster spots available than what was back in the day when we were seeing legal dumpings?
The environment.
I don't think so.
They still out here.
I honestly feel like the convenience factor is there pretty well throughout the county, which has helped the illegal dumping. But yeah, I think there's that certain group of people we can educate all day long, but if it ain't convenient for them, they don't care. They throw the washing machines over Jet Ridge and down that.
If you go across Slow Gap and you look down in that valley, it's where I took Miss Millsaps on one of our runs. I made sure that side, I went down the other side, so that Deep Valley was on the other side. But anyway, I swear, every time a tree falls down there, I see something that I've never seen, you know, I don't remember seeing. And it's not too long ago, I come across there, I seen a couch down in there that I couldn't tell that a tree fell, but I don't ever remember seeing it in there. So we still have some of that in some of these worst ones. That was one of the worst ones for appliances that I recall in that area.
We don't.
And I'm not so sure there's not 1 or 2 white goods that you were down in there too. And my only fear is gate them. We go back to, and it won't take many people. I'm not saying everybody, but it won't take but 1 or 2 in each area to get started. And I've talked to several people that are, believe it or not, older than me and Joe. and remember what it was like prior to the great boxes, and their response was as well. They understand you're trying to save money, you're trying to do this and that, but they're each one of the first questions is, all right, when these people start dumping, is the county gonna come and clean it up? Because the atmosphere of our county, if somebody sees something on their property, they're gonna start calling DEQ or whoever, and it's gonna be the property owner that they come down on.
Correct.
And is the county gonna start going, you know, if you go this route, are you gonna come out here and clean these messes up on my property that people made? And these are people that are on property that had problems prior, their family had problems prior to, the green box system being put in place. And that's their concern.
So
And
I look at the Little River District, and I mean, there's not many in the Little River District anymore. There's truly in the Little River District, we got the Franklin Pike one, but then the 615 one is now in the courthouse. The Locust Grove one on Daniels Run is in Locust Grove, right on the border. But there's not many in my district at all, and there doesn't seem to be a garbage problem, you know? I mean,
This is important, we don't have to,
I know.
Dr. Millsap said something about 9:30.
I did,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to have this discussion again.
Well, we talked about it.
And maybe if we keep talking with them for these.
Solid waste meeting, I mean, literally, a special solid waste meeting.
Yeah, I think it's important.
And we've also got to get,
Yep.
So we want to start waste ordinance and we need to have a few other come back in.
are you having as much trouble with people still putting food out in the green boxes for the wildlife?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I've seen some.
That's one of our biggest problems. I don't know what we're gonna do about the bear problem. Right now, we got 5 sites. We got bear trouble.
Really?
But yeah, have y'all been down Raleigh Lake seen where we put these boxes back to back against each other? I talked to the driver a while ago, he didn't have to pick up any trash this morning.
Right.
I drove yesterday, I picked up one bag, that was because they couldn't get it up, so they stayed on the ground.
Well, there are some things that typically they can't.
Like he
So they
said,
have the end box.
just drive another
Yes, I
mile,
agree.
drive another mile or mile and a half.
To the transfer station, yeah, exactly.
The fella that was calling and complaining lives on Barberry, goes by the transfer station, get to the dollar store. I said,
Just go,
the
yeah.
transfer station's open 7 days, 6 days a week. I said, you can just back up the concrete and push it off. You ain't gotta worry about lifting it. They gonna get a burn.
Help you unload it.
Yeah.
If I might, Mr. Chairman, so I know we had some discussion earlier about, with the biochar folks, maybe putting something out and letting them collect wood. Would we, I know DEQ would have to approve it, which is what Mr. Booth keeps reminding me, but if they would that be helpful, not worth it? I don't know if they do it, but
If, when that dump truck comes in there, he's got 11 different things in there besides lumber, that's the only concern I'd have about it. Is he gonna stop up there and throw it all in that roller?
yeah, it's a good point.
Too easy to go in there, flag it, dump it up.
Yeah.
And if y'all wanna separate it, y'all separate it.
Yeah.
Okay, just trying to figure out how to reduce our tipping. Ollie,
See,
so thank
see
you.
what you do there, you raise the price of the dumpage, the tonnage, and they'll separate.
Then we'd have to get called a smurfing permit to pull it out of the trash.
People don't realize any regulations is.
Getting
there.
worse.
They think you just bring it in, dump it, and y'all throw it in the truck, and haul it off.
Girl, thank you for all y'all do.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank y'all for
Thank you.
everything.
Tell the guys, Yeah.
And Lydia.
and lady, yeah. Tell everybody, thank you.
It's tougher than.
Some of them.
Yeah, and if I might, if you've not seen the signs, I think we have one on the door and they're going out flyers that, on the 22nd of April, the transfer station used to sponsor a pickup day.
Right.
And so they're gonna go back to doing that and everybody's gonna meet at the courthouse that morning and go pick up trash. And so Lydia's been working on organizing that as part of her recycling duties. And
Excellent.
so we'll do that and then also have the stuff at the park rec course that day.
Yeah, like an Earth Day thing.
Green.
Green and clean.
Green
Green
and
That's what it's,
Yeah, that was Earth Day. Yeah, that's good.
yes.
Yep.
It was one Saturday, it was work, they come in with something like 6 or 8 tons
Yeah.
or something, it was unreal.
They went to an illegal dump on Deer Valley.
Yeah.
Up there just off Greenfield. Clean that side up.
So that's in addition to the, the river cleanup effort that is now a scouting event, but that continues to happen as separate, so we do both of those. Yeah, she's been a really good. Yes, that would be great.
Yes, anybody that has one of those old dumps or something on their property, that they call in and get on the list. It seems like they kept a list and they started, like this year they didn't do like they only knocked 3 off. Then next year they started with the 4,
Okay,
some kind of something, and
look into it.
I think it's the way they,
Okay,
at one point they.
good to know.
Word out there and say, look, we're willing. To use this list. And we identified a lot of, there was a lot of them identified as over there.
That's great. Yeah, we'll look into that. I think this year they're primarily gonna, since we haven't done it in so long, be kind of along major routes and that kind of thing, but for the future, that would be. Mr. Chairman, if you'd like to go to closed session, I guess we need,
Take a motion. Closed session. Tuesday, Thursday, 3, 5.
So moved.
Second.
all right, on the motion to go into closed session under 2.2, 3711A3 and A5, Ms. Bechtel,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbuck,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yeah.
and Mr. Turner. All right, great.
So moved.
Second.
Chair, on the motion to come out of closed session, Ms. Bechtel,
Yes.
Ms. Cookenbook,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Booth,
Yes.
and Mr. Terman.
Yes,
All right, we are out of closed session.
take a motion for, take a motion that we only discuss those things that we're in closed session for.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, on the motion to certify, we only spoke about things we were supposed to under closed session under A3 and A5. Mr. Booth?
Yeah.
Ms. Cookenbook?
Yes.
Ms. Bechtel?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yeah.
And Mr. Terman?
Yeah.
All right, y'all are certified. I was guessing y'all were gonna take a 5-minute break when we came back. Maybe I'll drink less coffee. I don't know if you all were gonna take a brief break or you want to keep going. Thank you.
So.
We're ready, we're back in session. Batter up, what's next?
Alright.
Like 2% we talking about.
Let's raise it to 5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it'll be a little bit less than two, it'll be a little bit less than what I said, obviously.
Not doing the 7%, we're getting $500,000, give or take.
Yes.
Yes.
It's gonna take something like a 2% to even get us close.
Now, I will say, you know, we have, oh, sorry, I didn't. Yeah. I will say that during the course of the last year to year and a half, we have done quite a few outside of the normal 7.5-2% cycle. A number of salary adjustments. For instance, you know, we talked to y'all about EMS and making changes there. We made changes at the transfer station. And so in terms of folks that are under county administration, there have been some movements there. So wanted to make sure you were aware of that. But yeah, in terms of coming up with 7%, anything close to that. Part of, I think, why that's happening is when talking to some of my counterparts, other folks' sales taxes are pretty strong, and their real estate taxes are super strong, and so they have more space than we currently do. So that's a little bit of why we might be a little of a voice in the wilderness about this is too much. Mm. What are the
What's
questions you got?
the spread difference on a 5% to 7%?
I'm trying to do a ballpark right now,
Okay.
not on there though.
Right.
Just off the top of my head, 150,
Yeah, that's what I'm
give
thinking.
or take. Well, she's-
Oh, why can't that?
I know this, it's a touchy subject. I know it's gonna hit one department. We have employees in some of these constitutional offices we pay for that we match whatever the state does, even though they are county employees.
Except for one,
How long can we continue along that line?
right?
Make it fair playing field,
Try to
Except for
make a
one,
fair
right?
playing field, but still,
which we have always done.
we've done that, but
And wrong.
you know, as it expands and gets bigger and bigger at
Wait.
some point.
Richard.
Hmm.
But the two departments that would represent, where there is both county funded and comp funded, is the treasurer and the sheriff's office. Commissioner Revenue and Rhonda's office are 100% comp board positions.
No, but at one time we had it. They worked it out.
They're 100% comp at this point, yes.
Okay.
So the only two, the sheriff's office, that's right, and the treasurer. The treasurer has two comp position and one that is not. The sheriff office has, so if we have two buckets in the sheriff's office that we have to consider. In the actual sheriff's office, we have 12 comp, 14 county. In the court and dispatcher, there's 7 comp and 1 county. The 1 county is the new position that's coming in, and I don't know how that's gonna fall, but right now, it's county funding.
That bucket.
That is correct. So you have 19 comp and 15 county.
And the thing is, they're doing the same job as the others. That's part of why we've always tried to keep it in.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't mean anything derogatory toward either.
No, you don't, when you get hired, you don't know which bucket you're falling in, you just know you got hired. Yeah, when I got hired at the sheriff's office, I didn't know if it was a cop position or a county position.
Changed when they hired you, cause I remember years ago, you know, we'd always get bent out of shape, cause was, you didn't affect me as much, cause I was a top position. But the county, you know, wasn't getting no raise, so the top was getting it, and the county was dragging behind. You know, and that changed somewhere, it may have changed after I left off. Cause I remember.
I think it was after, because it was people on all kinds of different pay scales.
Because they was shuffling them around.
Not good for morale.
It was.
No.
It
Me and
was.
you's coming in and doing the same job, same shift.
Yeah.
And you just got a pay raise and had it.
Yeah.
Well, no. Is there anything we can do to help? I know it's constitutional office and that has to go through there. But is there anything we can do to help get some of these, county paid into actual competitions that's recognized by the state? Is there anything we can?
Pretty hard.
No, I don't think so.
It's all, it's between the company.
Yeah.
State.
The state.
All
State compensation board says you got this many officers at the top.
And I'm not saying we do anything like it now. It's gonna reach a point eventually where I hate to say it, but whoever sitting here is gonna say, we continue the program or the
Well-
process or not.
As the county has grown in terms of our payroll, we are setting up for future boards to have to, you know, and I'm not by any means saying that we have, I mean, you can't, we are growing and,
Brian may have to go back like a sheriff in the neighboring county used to do. He needed 2 men. He would apply for like 5, 6 big coppers.
right,
They negotiate, that's, we can't do that, we'll give you 2 people.
yeah, maybe try to get more over, yeah.
He'd do
That would be
every
a
year.
help.
He would sue the cop board for so many people and they would negotiate it out.
And he already be doing it.
I mean, 2 more would give us 21 versus, 13. Has
We
your
check
calculating going on, what would it save us?
Can we don't let them see everything stands?
Sorry, what were?
Can we check?
So in the comp board, to get more of his deputies that are non-comp board into the comp board salaries.
So to get the number of employees. Okay, if he's had conversations with the company.
Yeah, and I think part of that, and if I'm, from what I'm reading, and I can always be, continually educated in this concept, and we'll ask Brian, but from what I understand, it's based on population. Statistics on crime, population, it's pretty much just population, the biggest argument is they don't care whether you're rural or city, it's population, and that's what they do.
Sure said years ago. If we had stops. They were able to run. To get out of kilter.
Right. So, and I don't know if there's some other ratios that come into play, but that's what, even looking at all the data from 100 of, counties in the state,
Those salaries are not gonna get cheap over time.
No, none of our salaries are getting cheaper over time. It doesn't matter where you go, I mean, even on our county level, they're not. I mean, we're here where we're at,
Well, until we get Richmond to understand that people exist west of Charlottesville.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get much.
so if I may, some numbers.
Yeah.
If I heard some of the questions throughout here. Originally it said if it's the entire county, At 5%, it's 232,640. At 6%, again, entire county, it's 274,711 pure salary, not including FICA, VRS. Which is probably, I would say, around a 50 to 70 addition, okay? Because as you go up, so does that. And then at 7%, pure salary would be $320,500. So at that, you're probably looking close to or just under 400,000 if it's the 7% for the entire county.
That's not included in that. They're
The
the taxes, the FICA goes up, also the VRS contribution will go, it could go up, depending on where they're at, and depending on the department. That would be, I'll tell you,
46.
Yeah.
232.
Oh, but that's fine.
$87,856. Correct. It's about, so 35, so about 140. With FICA VRS. Right? No, actually, no. 70 would be 35,000, so. Yeah, 123,000. So just the, I'm sorry, my apologies. Just the 5% for just comp board. Just who we have allotted for comp, no matter what the department, okay? 5% is 91,000, 6% is 110,000, 7% is 128,000.
We need to get some larger
Just comp
account.
board increases. So, and then I have just county, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
So like you said, that would.
Oh, well, it'd be up in 6.
Reset me here on our Excel document. We're currently 329,000 negative, right?
336.78.
Right. If you want to look it up.
And that's before we talk about any 5 and 7% raises.
Right, so,
Okay,
yeah,
so
this is before, this is just kind of the pure number without making any budgetary, decisions, which was the 500,000 from the revenue you received, right? So no tax increase, in addition to about approximately, and there's a little bit more in there, but approximately the big static ones that we've continued, the carryover of 351,000. So Levi, like the floor, the roof for the courthouse, monies that we've allotted in this budget fiscal year that we're gonna put into next budget year. No increase, no decrease, but we're just gonna carry over those funds because they weren't expended this year.
For the same things.
For the same purpose. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right.
Additional $500,000 in revenue.
They're saying is we take the PPP and add that, then we're just about at it.
Correct.
But I'm still saying this year is one thing, but we're setting ourselves up for next year
Following year.
being pretty lean. And I know you were joking, but I'd almost, or maybe you were joking. I mean, I would like to know what a 2% decrease across the board would look like.
So if that's what you guys want, you just have to tell me, because a lot of things are,
Suggestion.
well, I could do every department 2% and go all the way down the line, but it's broken up into, do you want to do all your community portion of
Right.
that? Those are all, there's a few that are broken out that are
Right.
not in that 500,000.
Right.
Are we doing community action? Are we so
Right.
And there are
the
some
lawyer,
formulas we
the
can't.
auditor, their auditors, we can't, right, so
Right.
I would just need a little bit of direction
Right.
on.
We
Yeah.
can't do that, and if I might, so New River is driven by a formula, and it's in, onward,
Yeah, you can't.
regional commission.
Could those items that we don't have any influence over, can they be color coded
Mm-hmm.
in this document so we can see where we can't play?
On the community, yeah, yeah,
Wherever,
community
like,
list.
yeah,
Yeah.
any of
So you
the,
just fill with color.
right, so things that we can't change. The auditor,
Yeah, you don't have to do
Pick a
it.
color so we can still read them.
Yeah, the auditor, I don't know, I don't know that it would go down. I do have what our RFP was last time we put out for an auditor, and so we do plan to do
maybe
that,
not
but.
even on the name, but just the budget number,
Or maybe an extra column with the,
somewhere.
somehow, so I'm just worried your colors are to get too busy.
Right.
We have no colors now, and so make it.
No. If you start in columns, you're gonna get smaller.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I mean, if we literally went down this list right now, oh my, sorry. Don't do that, kidding.
Right, if you.
Oh. Just to the
Command
old
V.
undo. Control
Danny?
V. Control V. There we go. The old Control V.
Screw that.
Saves you every time. I can't tell you how many times I use Control Z.
Or maybe even if I did it here.
Right, under the account number.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
do the account number.
Right.
Very
It's not something I have to.
Sorry? Well, that's what I was looking, so what if
Just
I
call it
could,
home.
if I could, I have a working document that I have.
Yeah, that would be.
Maybe I'll do it on here, I'll transfer it to this,
Yes,
so
yes.
it'll represent. Okay, but if we go down, you could tell me what to leave and what not, and I'll highlight what's going to be changed or what's not, how
Well,
do
all the formula. Just do the formula, Drew.
okay, okay,
And if we did a two.
and that's what you want highlighted. You want the ones that are set that cannot be changed. Everything else that's not highlighted will be considered the 2% change, okay?
But you can't really do that on salary. So that's the other area.
No, but if you could do it on the bottom line, that includes salaries.
Right.
What, so you wanna know what each department, what a 2% reduction would be,
Correct.
okay?
Bingo.
Which will include,
Yeah, well, so let's start trying to think about the comp positions. So is it kind of to the spectrum point? I mean, how would you like the comp positions? So if you have an office like, I guess Lisa's office is all comp board positions. So is it 2% whatever is not provided or required by the comp board, or what are you guys thinking?
Do we have any that's a 50-50 split like I used to? It's all one.
Or the other.
Yeah.
That Lisa's position or Lisa's department, the salary is comp board required, right? That's-
85%, I
But
think,
her
and then you have to put some.
expenses in that department are for us.
Yeah.
So we could do.
but they pay part of their fringe. They pay, so
Right.
they consider it fringe, so part of their benefits.
So that's what I'm just trying to clarify what it is you want us to tell people to go back and do.
The operational part.
All the operating portion of the budget, of the departmental budget, what would 2% of that be?
If that requires people lowering temperatures in the wintertime and raising them in the summertime to save us money. But that's,
Well, yeah.
So if I might, to the chairman's question, let's see, the commissioner is just, and Rhonda's is just, with the
100%.
exception of the part-time position, Rhonda's always, those are all, but when you get to the treasurer's office has one, that you all pay for, and then the sheriff's office is now more than half, county. It used to be half and half, and now it's more than half. And if,
Like in community programs that are formula driven.
Mhm.
But what we did in the past, county administrator or assistant, whoever went back to each department, look, we would like to see where you could cut 2% and they made the recommendations themselves.
Yeah, we
Not
should-
y'all,
Right.
not us. That if we had to do a 2% decrease, here it is.
We've
Now-
done that before.
We
well,
did
you
that
did that since I've been here. We did that the first year I was here. The difference, just so you know, is that the recommended budget we proposed has already cut significantly more
We
than
know.
2% out, and so
Yeah,
There-
let's do that.
you want them to start with what we proposed and then take another 2%. Okay.
These are lean times.
Because y'all may have said it, from what I see here, the budget y'all presented, forgive the terminology, but you've already nickel and dimed it. I mean,
Yeah, we don't make it bleed.
I think,
with what's on the horizon, I don't think we have any choice.
Correct.
I'd like to just reiterate, our tax revenue base is basically property taxes.
Correct.
Right.
Real
Our
estate,
taxes,
real estate tax.
taxes.
Right, real estate
The
tax.
majority of sales tax income stays in the town.
Correct.
So.
I mean, we have some outside,
The major, right.
but the majority.
So our revenue base for our county budget is extremely limited. The only options to meet these demands of our growing budget is to raise taxes unless we come up with other solutions. I wanted to just put that out there. Right.
And I was in one of my coaches anyway, but what I see with this downturn of the economy and whatever, I'm absolutely opposed to raising.
Yeah.
And hurting our people.
Right.
Right, and Montgomery County has seen an increase in sales tax revenue. Price of goods has gone up, the corresponding sales tax income goes up for the county. We don't have that here in our county.
But what?
And now we will have less.
Correct.
The news that was released at 10 o'clock this morning that
Potentially significant
significantly less sales tax revenue for the county.
transient occupancy tax.
Yes, because we have over 100 Airbnbs in the county now, and so those would normally all be full
Right.
that week in July.
For revenue. Airbnbs.
I'm not sure. We will check and get something to you next week. The total
That's
though
the
for is only what 91,000 I think for all of our transient occupancy tax. I'm pretty certain, which is it's less than a penny of real estate.
But close to it.
2/3.
Well, 3/4,
Yeah.
that's close.
But that is almost a quarter of our shortfall. It's just the transient occupancy tax.
It's one of them avenues though that we can capture some revenue without hurting the citizens.
Correct.
But we have potentially lost a majority of that transient occupancy tax
This year.
with this morning's
News. Yeah, this year. So we had talked about cigarette tax.
The only problem with that is it's not gonna be,
collected in the town.
well, it's not gonna be frugal, or however you wanna say it, to move forward with that, because the town has pretty well made it clear, if we do that, they're gonna do it, and majority of those are revenue from it's gonna be in town.
But you know, if you watch this round, you don't see that much tobacco product
No, you don't.
anymore. It's really dropped down.
Yep.
I do my best.
Vaping is not
I mean, we would
covered
have more
under the tax.
tobacco related businesses in the county than we would the town, right? You think so?
Big stops are not,
Yeah, if I might, so
I'm saying the convenience stores. compared to like West End and Easy,
Looked at it.
Old Express.
The overwhelming, I got the indication, the overwhelming majority of it is actually in the town.
Mhm.
Just don't feel like there's that many places to buy cigarettes. Not that I smoke, but ball bag.
Talking about Smith or Village,
They sell a lot.
yeah, in Midway, grocery,
Midway.
no, not that much. I don't know if, Wildwood sells much.
Who?
Well,
Oh, Wildwood, yeah,
Ingram sells.
yeah.
yeah, Ingram
There's very few.
in the county. So I don't see that as being, I mean, I just brought that up, I don't see it as viable, I think it ends up costing us.
You know, cost probably more cost temporary.
Well, it's not terribly costly to implement. You have to pay for the stamps. But other than that, you know, what was costly, you all might recall, is when we were looking at doing it on a regional basis, and that was employing someone full-time to do enforcement. So that's, I believe, why you all backed away from it in part at that time. But right now, the rate for the surrounding jurisdictions is pretty much 40 cents a pack. So in terms of collections, my understanding from some of the communities that have been doing it is because it can be form generated just like your meals and transient occupancy tax. Other than the enforcement, it's not that expensive. You just have to pay for the stamps and get them printed. But to your point, there is when Missy, I think when we looked at this, the treasurer had called around, and because Food Line sells so many in the big cartons, that's what kind of threw it off. But
Right.
it is another source, and then you also have your meals tax rate.
At one time, maybe was talking about Floyd going from Montgomery for a stamp machine for the buy the house. If you hear then, was that from Curry? You remember that?
Yeah,
I
I do,
remember the conversation, I don't remember.
I think you were here.
I think it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was here.
We're the only one in the region, I believe, that doesn't have one. But everybody else has one, and they're pretty much. But they're also, vaping is not included in the tax, which is to the chairman's point why you're seeing the numbers go down. And if I might go back to one other item that you all asked about, related to the comp board, there's a set number of positions and dollars that are allocated at the Commonwealth level, at the state level, for coin funded positions. And then that's allocated out on a work need kind of standard, which is primarily population. But to Kim's point, you know, if we had a terrible crime spree, you know, might make a difference. But beyond that, so it's our allocation plus the size of the central pool that drives both of it. Folks that have to turn in their budget request in advance to coin, so they can ask for more. So we can ask the sheriff if he's put in for more or not. But there's not much under our control related to
Right.
that. But I wanted to give you more information. Any more good news you want us to tell you?
Our home just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Well, I think Airbnbs are your best are a good option for the increase in revenue. I mean, we got like 100 of them
But if
in the county.
That
we
know
could, we could
that we know
increase, we could increase transient occupancy tax. That's great, that's what I'd like to do, understanding that revenue is not gonna happen. Because of this year's new, which would be
Well, I
collected.
mean, that's definitely gonna put us. But I mean, there's still a lot of them that's pretty active.
But there will be,
You can see a decrease. But
the occupancy tax, I think there's a percentage or a minimum level that has to go directly to tourism.
tourism, yeah, funds.
Yes.
Yep. You can't tell time,
What time?
1:30.
Gotcha.
Here, top of Thursday.
I've seen her come in the door back there. If he was doing it.
Yeah, run too. Had any time yet to speak? I know y'all have a lot going on, speak with the school as far as the COVID positions, expenditures and stuff related to the school budget yet.
Yeah, I did see Dr. Wheeler yesterday,
That,
at the community college. Yeah,
I was gonna ask if we don't have an answer prior, so if he comes in on Tuesday. Yes. Yep.
Their budget was 26,364,000.
Also, related to that budget is loss of $1.5 million COVID-related funding.
We were gonna initiate it and then schedule them to come in next week.
What's the required percentage that you have to?
year, make adjustments. Trying to help the teachers get
Step salary.
the step salary program. And
It's in red. Yeah, on there.
I don't know. The state's got a formula for that, memory serves me, it doesn't include debt service. There's some other stuff it doesn't include that we do, but I don't know what it is now. At one point in time, we were, I think out of local dollars, we were spending something like 4,400 per child. At one point, I haven't seen any of those numbers in a long time. I don't know where we're at now. But that was our numbers too. We are included. The state system's all messed up. You know, they dictate, you gotta have certain illumination, certain side rooms, facilities, built into that, and then they want to count that against for the education. They're looking at the operational cost, not that total package. So, they make it confusing on purpose, I think. I'm not talking about the local, but the state. There's a lot of things that we're required to do that doesn't fit into the formulas. I think it's one time like we were like too big in the bud, what the formula worked out to. But like I say, it's been a long time since that season. Which I know it sounds like a lot, but not really. So,
Yeah.
so if I'm writing to Dr. Wheeler and Mr. Booth about, that you've raised a question about what is happening at the positions that were previously being funded out of COVID-related funds. And, ask if they would be available to address this question next Tuesday at 9 a.m. Is that the message? Okay. Thank you.
understand what they have a different mindset and they're charged with educating children in the county. I'm not questioning that. But it would be nice if one of these times when they get a major influx of state money that's not tied to a direct program like Title I or whatever. Hey, look, we got $250,000 here. Let's insert that into the budget. And y'all, you're in lean times, let you keep 250,000 this year. And we're gonna talk about it the next time. See that, during the time when we had zero in the bank and even into your time, did they ever come to you and make an offer like that? That's always a burning point with me, knowing full well the shape we were in. Now, that granted, lots of times they didn't ask for any more money, thank goodness, and that was great. And that was appreciated, but if there's any way they could help us out now, that'd be great too.
Yeah, it would be
But I'm
nice.
not
It would be nice to ask.
for it to be offered without any. And like I said, I understand they're charged with the children, so they have a whole different mindset, but
We likely may not hear about the 5, 6, 7% till when.
they don't start their meeting until the 12th. And how long are they slated to be in? Is it a week?
From what I understand, yes.
Unless the governor extends it.
Correct.
Make some stuff.
Which, last year, he extended it, especially with the school budget was, if you remember.
Yeah,
we
it's
were-
saying.
And then that error.
And see, the other thing that's been impacted, social services starts their new budget year June 1.
Correct.
That's what burns me up about Richmond and Washington, but they know they gotta do this, they know the counties and the localities are waiting on this, and they sit up there and play politics with it. And it burns me up.
And then at the end, we're rushing to get our budgets balanced because there's no allowance in the state code for us to give an extension past July 1.
They about make us violate state code just about because of their nonsense.
That last week of June, there's no telling how many meetings we'll have to have.
Yeah.
Wish that don't help our situation now.
But it feels good to get it off the chest a little bit.
Get it on record, it's certified.
And, you know, for several of our other surrounding jurisdictions, you know, they go ahead and approve their budget and make modifications, but they're a little flusher,
Yes, they are.
so.
They
can do
absorb
Mhm.
easier.
Mhm.
Make a decision on some of these fees and stuff pretty quick if we're gonna get into the advertisement phase.
I'm wondering if maybe one of our meetings shouldn't be about that.
Fees.
Well, to meet our deadlines, we're probably gonna have to decide fees our next budget meeting.
Which is after our
Tuesday
supervisor
evening.
meeting.
Okay. Oh, put the wrong time out, I forgot.
Morning budget meeting.
No, I messed up, so I gotta correct that email, thank you. I just thought about
We're
that.
gonna adjourn and then go to the budget?
Death like we used to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, lunch, okay.
Yeah.
But no,
And
We're talking about food.
About 3 hours.
The important part of the meeting, we're discussing lunch.
okay.
But Tuesday evening, we probably ought to come to some agreement on, you know, if you could list out these fees.
That's in several weeks though.
No, when he references evening, he means after the budget.
Oh, okay.
So, so the 11th, yeah, is your day
Yeah.
meeting, okay.
You have on our calendar requests, we slated to have people come.
Correct.
No, those were, suggestions of how to, if you wanted to, if you were doing this kind of like I understand you've done before, to do tranches, but in, really what we did obviously today and kind of what we've already started for Tuesday is, as you guys ask questions that are beyond things that Kim and I know, have Mark and Cheryl come, have Dr. Wheeler and Darren come. So no, we haven't slated anybody. That had just been if you wanted to look at a group at a time. Some of the community groups have requested to come, and we've kind of pushed them.
Amy.
And Amy has
Yeah.
requested?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she has.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I've already gotten a note from the paper wanting to know what we were gonna say.
But
But I called you. So,
So
well,
you
you,
need something to run in the paper on the 13th, so basically at our 11th meeting, we need to set. I kept my calendar right here so I could reference it. And then have our public hearing on the 17th, and then continue to work.
I think it has to run 2 weeks, no?
let me see, pull it up. I had it on there, I can go just grab it off.
I believe
Oh,
it.
no, that's the 25th. What was the hearing?
think we have to run
417
it.
hearing. What's that
Let me
on?
go grab it off my desk.
Yeah. Yeah. So Monday.
No, we just want to verify if we have to run it 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I believe.
If it has 417, 2 p.m. hearing. That's a Monday. What hearing is that? At 2 p.m.
Is this a calendar?
Yeah, on her calendar.
Yeah, I think that was that it had to be in the paper. I don't know if that.
Oh, about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
hearing.
yeah, yes, yes.
Which then runs the 25th.
Correct.
That's only 8 days.
Did you pull it up? I can't get in, I
You
still can't
only
get in.
require
Run it
7
so-
days.
Right.
Is
to
it
run
7 or
twice?
twice?
And it's twice.
Twice
It's
and
twice.
7. That's it. I have 2 weeks because of Floyd Press is 2 weeks, but it,
You're just.
yes, thank you.
Right.
Gotcha. And maybe it's PTSD from last year.
The calendar on my desk is enough for us.
Would y'all have time to? Would y'all have time to, and probably want to put a host in there, to, based on like a scale of these increases in these fees and stuff, and what we would gain potential? Based on,
I am not, last year you did all the fees related to buildings and planning.
Right.
So pretty much the only fees that haven't been changed is, Sydney suggested repeatedly, we look at how much we charge people for a map. Cause that is definitely a net loss, cause we've been mailing them to people in those tubes and charging them $10 total. So that, and then, tipping fees fees at the, transfer station, and that's pretty much it.
what about, did we do machinery and tool last time? Don't think we did.
Your numbers are, they're very low.
Yeah.
And they're going down for some reason.
We charge, a fee for disposal for any demolition permits for the garbage that would be taken.
You mean if they tear a building, then
They can, they could fall under the tip.
Yes.
So one of our district maps or road maps or one of these big maps, people are asking for big maps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I have several of them.
Yeah, well,
when we moved here,
right,
I bought a few of them, but I came in and picked them up.
right.
We should at least cover shipping and handling and printing.
Absolutely.
But I
And
mean,
then
all
some.
those together are probably,
$15,
Yeah.
at least 20.
yeah, probably 20.
20.
It's probably almost double the, what we're charging.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
And we're looking at adding some fees.
Right.
That'll come in under the advertisement. So.
Correct.
And just the special note, the initiation of the planning commission and the fees that Carla with plats and things like that, had, I believe it was budgeted at 4,000, because we just weren't sure what that, has incurred more than double. As initially thought, and she's probably looking at 70% increase of what was budgeted from last year. She did a great job with that, and that was all, Carla driven,
Yeah.
and supported by obviously Ladina and it should be completed today, if not tomorrow, and then I'll be able to print out. And then you'll get a March report. Okay? You'll be able to close out February. Whatever, either way, yes, absolutely, 100%. I'll put it in your packet.
If you can, yeah.
Actually, every department, just so you know, just on knowing what I'm looking at, they're right where they need to be. Some better, but I don't think there's any department that is glaringly correct, and it has maintained that. Other than the big moves that require a drawdown, which would be Mark's and Kevin's, and one of Ladina's. So other than a big drawdown, which we talked about waiting till May. So, and then we'll get that done, and then they'll be, but even with that, they're right there. So.
Got 15 minutes before we go from here.
So if I can ask just for clarification, what you're looking for is, with departmental heads' suggestions as well, looking at the county administrator's recommendation budget for departments, and from there, asking them for assistance with a 2%
2%.
decrease in operational
Correct.
use budget only. So
Right.
I'm going to eliminate payroll, BRS, all that
Right.
tax, all that healthcare. So eliminate that, give them the line items that are just operationally driven, and ask them to decrease 2%, make a suggestion.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're gonna make the decision what we think,
Right.
so I'd rather it come from them. Is that
Absolutely.
accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how we feel.
Okay. I agree. Mm-hmm.
I feel comfortable.
Okay.
And you'll have.
Hate to do it, but,
You'll have something to say, okay?
Mm-hmm.
County
and that's fine.
Then we'll go back. Now, do you want us to go back and make that further 2% suggestion if they said they can't, or
Yeah.
that?
Yes, well, you can, they can suggest, and then we can.
Y'all have already put it.
Yeah, it's all on us.
So,
Is that? Yeah, okay.
you get-
Sometimes, if I might, If I might, I finally found the paper copy of, what I had printed for the calendar, so, you have your regular meeting scheduled for next Tuesday at 8:30. And then you have a, noon budget workshop. And then then we would need to run an ad in the this is all to hit the, commissioner request to have a rate set by April 25th. Okay, so we work back from there. And I based this on what we had done the year before, that we would need to run an ad in the Roanoke Times on the 13th. So that would be Thursday. So you guys would have to decide by Wednesday of next week what you want the rate to be.
Which would be Tuesday. Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 11th.
Unless I can't come to a decision on the 11th.
But then we wouldn't be able to run an ad on the 13th. So if you run an ad on the 13th, you'll have to make a decision pretty much on the 11th for submission.
You had them set on the Tuesday and Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
so we'll have one on Thursday.
So, what I had laid out included, on the 13th, an 8:30 work session. And also that same day to run the ad in the Roanoke Times with the rate.
That's what.
So-
Yes.
So do you feel, Kim, that the departments may need a little more time? Like, will everything be in by the 13th, Kim and Linda? Back to 2%?
I think they're just gonna have to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
I think they, yeah. I'm hoping some I'm confident it could be a phone call, and I'll follow up with an email, just to, verify, and others I will.
let's see.
Email them. Yes, you got it.
So,
They won't be working.
Okay. We have no leave related to Easter, either on Friday or Monday, so everybody's. And then to the chairman's question, so I also have us listed as having a hearing on the 17th.
Right.
And then the ad would run again. Well, the ad would run in the Floyd Press on the 20th. And the second ad would run on in the Roanoke Times also on the 20th. And then, yes, sir.
what is that for?
That's for your, I think that's your public hearing.
So we have a public hearing set for 4/25.
No, 4/25 is, 4/25 is the date that she had asked to have a final rate.
Right, but if we have the final rate on the 11th,
We skip that at 17th first.
What public hearing?
yeah, that's what I don't understand.
We only have a public hearing for raising tax rates.
Here, how about I make it easy on you?
No, I don't think it does. Yeah, we've got our sheets.
What I'm trying to get at is, are we having a public hearing on the 17th?
No, I'm sorry, that's the way it printed is funny. Sorry, no, the public hearing is on the 25th. But the public hearing to.
Right, so,
We're not having anything.
no meeting.
So that is, no meeting on the 17th, but we have to have the adding by 2 p.m. I apologize. I'll fix the spacing and send it again. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Regular meeting, then 6:30 p.m.
We get,
During the 17th, then you said it's gonna be up.
we get,
20th.
we get.
Yeah.
We get 2 or 3 conversations going in.
So we are meeting the 13th then. I'll have to change. Which is
So-
okay.
Yes, I had recommended you meet the 13th at 8:30 a.m. for a work session. And that would also be the day that the ad runs in the Roanoke Times. And then on the 17th is when Kim and I have to get the ad to the Floyd Press by 2 o'clock. And then the ad will run again, the same one that runs on the 13th in the Roanoke Times would also run on the 20th in the Roanoke Times. And then on the 25th, you would have a work session and the public hearing.
Work session,
When?
where we come in on 8:30, the 17th through the 21st.
I had
We
scheduled you
usually
in.
have them Tuesday and Thursday.
Right. So, yeah, you currently have a gap from the 13th to the 25th that you could fill if you wanted.
Guess we decide.
To. I've got one on the 18th that I can't miss, and the 19th of morning I can't miss.
What about well, see,
I
we
can miss
usually
the
meet,
one.
yeah, we usually have them on Tuesday and Thursday, and that's what I was talking about. I mean, we could back it up one day or move it forward.
I just can't be, the 19th, the morning of the 18th and 19th is out. Those are both appointments I can't reschedule.
Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays or Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays when I have physical therapy, so maybe we may have to have them in the afternoon or the night.
That would be better for me because I have my radio show on Monday mornings. But,
But yeah, so I
We
had
can
not
figure
put
it
a,
out
Yeah.
13th.
yeah, I hadn't put
Yeah.
anything on between the 13th and the
that'd be good.
25th. We of course could, but we had not put anything on there.
We could,
no,
so you and I'll be out of town Wednesday.
yes, we will. We gotta get back so I can get to the committee. That'll be the minutes.
Well, I let you put some pillows in that one.
Old Tahoe.
Then we decided it was morning.
27th.
I had our meeting Tuesdays
I
in the
think so,
morning. Yeah.
and then we'll have a regular meeting.
We'll say come.
27th.
Sorry?
I have to do some phone calls this evening because I got two doctors.
Okay.
One of it's virtual and the other one is in person, but I'm gonna have to move one of them, because I can't do the virtual. Yeah,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got a meeting on the 27th, is that something you got?
that's, we had additional work session if needed,
I'll do it.
yeah,
If we need.
so we may just have to move it one day.
She hasn't, yeah, this,
Okay.
we have, like you said, we have a whole.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to.
We could have a public comment.
Well, that'd be good.
So I have asked Dr. Wheeler and Darren if they could come next Tuesday at 9 a.m., even though that's separate from your budget, because that's kind of their normal slot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for,
We'll work with them if they'll work with us.
Right?
would you like a motion to
Yeah.
adjourn?
Let's see if Dr. Mills has anything else.
Do I have anything else? Now, the only other thing I'll mention real quick that's not really budget, but let you guys know. So there was a nice event yesterday at New River Community College, and the chancellor, there's a new chancellor for the community college system. He came and spoke and took questions and thoughts from the audience. Dr. Wheeler and I were both there. Our two board members from Floyd County weren't there. We were, I think, the only county our board members were there. But we were there, and so I made some comments related to, we appreciate all the great work that Angie's doing with the ACE program. It's been great for us, and appreciate Dr. Huber helping us with EMS training. And since we're a small place, I did suggest in North Carolina, the community college system does a lot of small business support and counseling. And that would be a really nice niche for rural areas. They would be able to allow to start filling some of that space for us. So that was it.
Take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion second.
All right, on the motion to adjourn, Mr. Cox.
Yeah.
Ms. Bechtel,
Yes.
Ms. Cookerbrook.
Yes.
Mr. Booth.
Yeah.
And Mr. Turman.
Yeah.
All right, thank
All
you,
right.
we are adjourned.
See everybody Tuesday.
Happy Easter.